Many people will be familiar with the book Mahabharata, which is a bastardized version of the Vedic texts of the Rus. But something occurred to me the other day of what that term means, Mahabharata. Well, like what we have shown in several parts of From Russia with Love, sometimes you have to break a word down to then make sense of it. So I took out the last four letters ending in Ra Ta for the obvious links to Ra, cult of Ra. And what you are left with is Maharba, Maharba, which actually means welcome. Welcome Ra and Ta. So technically the word means welcome Ra and thank you. But here's the kicker of why they've used that name with Ra. Ta may have another variant on it. But Maharba is the reversal of the word Abraham. Oh dear. Now it makes more sense, doesn't it? With the whole world in massive turmoil and 4 to 5 billion praying for the gods to save them, the question remains, what happens next? Answers on an atom-sized postcard, please. Given some of the things that I've mentioned about the Australians downloading apps and all kinds of other stupidity to do with this virus, here's another word that really crops up but is also familiar with the description of people today. Asinine, which means utterly stupid or silly. The adjective of relating to or resembling an ass is the description, or belonging to or characteristic of the act. Are all these people called Jack, as in Jack Asinine? Makes one wonder. Now we're going to get into some more serious stuff to end the show. People should take note of this. I'm amazed at myself that I hadn't thought of it previously, but I was in pondering mode, and you know what happens when that happens. No, I'm not going to create 3 shows this time. But a recent discussion of self-development came up, of which many of you are going along with and doing well with. And of course we have the grounding, centering and shielding documents available to all on our website, and I know it has helped many of you. But I brought up last year the potential hazard of grounding due to the infected parts of Earth due to past traumas, and also the Vril frequency machines that are below our feet. So I then warned that grounding, or the ground, had to be cleared first before grounding. And yet I missed, and indeed so has most of the alt media, missed a key factor in grounding. So the words are stated in this order: grounding, centering, and then shielding. But there's only one problem with that order, because if you're not centered and so balanced, how can you ground in the right manner? Oops. Centering, which is a zone of balance. But what happens if you are out of balance and then you ground? Essentially, you are then anchoring that out of balance frequency zone as your permanent state, or until the next grounding, or you're not. So we have to look at this in a different light. That first must come the centering, which is far easier to attain if you are operating in the 45-55 spectrum. And 45-55 can be easier obtained during your meditation exercises. And as you develop a mastery over the self, you no longer have to go through those ritual exercises of meditation, quiet zone, peace and background music and some scented candles and all the other malarkey. You can actually do it as you're going about day to day by apportioning a part of your brain to do that memory zone vibration whilst continuing on with your everyday life. You have to have the self-mastery. You have to have combined the two hemispheres. So when you are at the 45-55 balance is then when you engage the exercise of grounding. But remember to clear the area in which you are grounding first before undertaking that exercise. And that is to avoid absorbing potential errant energies of those who have walked there before you. 45-55 is essential in this time period, as you have all seen. You cannot be in balance and flip-flop all over the place, as we have seen in some of our former members recently. 1 minute THI is the greatest, and the next I and THI is a piece of shit and scam. That's just not being in balance within or of yourself. And these people will go to great lengths to justify their new stance. And the reason being is they're covering up their own issues, not mine. They will find that out eventually. So Trump does something right, just go 55. Trump does something wrong, go 45 on your emotional scale. And then apply that to the other fields of information. You stay in balance is the key to your own self-development. The clowns are swinging all over the place. They're bouncing off the walls in the corridor with all the doors locked. They're going insane. A lot of the people around you also. But how others be or act is not your concern. You are your concern. There's no hope for many of them now. You've all seen the evidence of that.